My approach would be to first start with stopping illegal hiring practices. Businesses are the reason why people are coming into this country. We need to enforce our laws, and that starts with businesses. That means we give them a notice period to get in compliance. We provide a database whereby people can verify whether or not their employees are documented. And then after that notice period, we start enforcing penalties, first economic, and if they don't comply over time, they become criminal. That makes it so that it's easier to enforce the borders, and that it stops draining our local resources. These big companies are making lots of money for our taxpayers because of the cheap labor that they're paying, but then the taxpayers are paying the social costs when it comes to police, healthcare, and education. This is a lot like child labor. We regulated child labor 100 years ago. We can regulate our illegal hiring practices now, and that's the best approach to immigration.
I think the question was about the impasse that we had, and this is critical. We need to move the issue forward. Frankly, I think there's a possibility of doing something in December. I want to have an environment where businesses can grow and prosper, but where we don't have the social problems that relate to people who are illegally and who are cheating on welfare and doing other things that are deleterious. One of the things we have to do here is, in fact, limit access to health care or encourage these people, require them to have health insurance so they don't use our emergency rooms without paying. I might just point out that we've done a great deal actually on immigration with our border enforcement, and in fact the number of people coming across apparently has plummeted recently. At least our farmers are having a hard time getting labor today.
Yeah, just following up on what's been said, farmers having a hard time getting labor is going to in turn increase the price of crops, which is in turn going to increase the price on the average working class family who's already getting squeezed by high energy prices and high commodity prices in other areas. We need to end the farm subsidies that are forcing these people to come here looking for better work, because we're flooding the market with our cheap farm goods in their countries. And we need to allow immigration like Europe does it. Give ID cards to everybody, keep the criminals out, punish the criminals, let everybody else travel across the borders, let capital and labor freely cross borders, and be able to exploit the markets and not have it. Thank you.
Yes, everybody wants to talk about the economy, but liberty has made successful economics in America, and will destroy the culture of liberty. It will destroy the very foundations that this nation was founded upon. It is now the official public policy of the United States not to close our borders, but to eliminate them, and to do it in 3.5 years. It's called Security and Prosperity Partnership, and it's been signed on by Condoleezza Rice and other high-ranking officials in the Bush administration. The plan is to merge Mexico, Canada, and the United States economically, politically, and socially. Create a North American regional government that will completely unravel everything that the Founding Fathers ever did.
Well, we currently have a system of fining businesses, and they are severe fines. They're severe enough that when we did Geneva Steel years ago, we spent $75 per employee trying to avoid fines by assuring people who'd worked for 20 years at Geneva Steel were not illegal aliens. The burden of prosecution, the burden of enforcement ought to be on the government. If we have a coordinated, thoughtful program, that will be the case, and we have to let business be free. Hire. We don't want criminals in our system. Let's take them out. Let's create a system whereby employers can know that the person they're hiring and training is not going to be jerked out because he's here illegally, but help them understand who's available for hire, and the system will take care of itself and work beautifully and be done appropriately, with the federal government taking its role, local governments taking their role with local crimes, and business doing what it should do, which is create goods and services for the American people at low prices.
No, because I don't believe that working is a crime, whether you're a citizen of the United States or not a citizen of the United States. It's an inalienable right that the government shouldn't be able to say one person can work and one person can't work. What we need to do is follow the European model, allow capital and labor to cross borders freely, and the market's going to take care of itself. We're not going to solve anything by increasing fines, because those fines are going to go to the larger businesses, the people that are trying to do things all above board. You're just going to create a larger black market and exacerbate the problem.
Well, I think it's up to the government, first of all, to defend the borders and to stop this invasion that is coming across the borders, equivalent to 1 or 2 divisions of people every week. If the government's willing to do that, then yes, I think employers who hire illegal aliens should be fined. However, the problem is right now the government is not willing to do their duty, and therefore the employers see no need to do their duty. We need to work in concert with the government on this issue, but if the government is doing their job, then yes, employers should be fined for hiring illegal aliens.
Make no mistake about it, there are people right now that are profiteering off our broken system, and they're passing the buck on to everyday citizens as taxpayers. The whole reason why we have a Congress, the Congress's major power comes from the Commerce Clause, which is to regulate interstate commerce. We have to have a huge incentive for people not to hire illegal people in this country, and that has to be done through fines. It's a lot like child labor. It doesn't make any sense to have a country where we have absolutely unrestrained business practices, because that starts to hurt our communities and our individual rights. It's very important for us to have the disincentive taken away for people to bring people into our country that are increasing our taxes and having huge social costs on our municipalities. And we need to have a system that implements the rule of law, and that starts with regulating the businesses, and that starts with fines when people don't obey our laws.